November 8th, 2025, Scandinavia. Kratos sits by a frozen lake, sharpening the Leviathan axe, while Atreus practices his archery nearby. The ghost of Sparta has killed the entire Greek pantheon, toppled the Norse gods, and now just wants to live in peace with his son. He's done with war, done with rage, done with gods and their petty schemes. But let's change one thing. A NATO research expedition in Norway accidentally unearths Tyr's lost temple, and with it, footage of Kratos killing Baldur. The video goes viral. Intelligence agencies connect him to the cataclysmic events in Greece years earlier, the floods, the plagues, the sun going dark. They realize this one man caused the apocalyptic destruction of an entire civilization. The president authorizes a preemptive strike before he can do it again. So, what happens when the god of war faces off against the world's most powerful military? 6 a.m. A Reaper drone spots Kratos near his cabin. Moments later, two AGM-114 Hellfire missiles streak down from 15,000 feet. Each carries a shaped charge that creates a jet of molten copper moving at 25,000 feet per second, hot enough to burn through tank armor. Kratos hears them coming. In the games, he's shown reacting to lightning bolts from Zeus. Attacks moving at 270,000 miles per hour. Missiles traveling at Mach 1.3 are practically frozen in comparison. He raises the Guardian Shield, a magical barrier that blocked attacks from the literal god of light, and the Hellfires detonate harmlessly against it. The shockwave flattens trees for 100 meters. Kratos doesn't move an inch. He looks up at the drone with cold fury. Someone just tried to kill him in front of his son. That was a mistake. 6:15 a.m. A U.S. Army Ranger battalion airdrops into the Norwegian wilderness. These are America's elite, trained for years, equipped with M4 carbines firing 5.56mm rounds at 3,000 feet per second. Each bullet delivers 1,800 joules, enough to drop any human target. But Kratos isn't human. He's the son of Zeus, a demigod who killed Ares, Poseidon, Hades, Helios, Hermes, Hercules, and Zeus himself. In God of War 3, he survived being crushed by Kronos, a titan whose fingers were larger than buildings. Rifle rounds bounce off his ashen skin like raindrops. The Rangers watch their bullets spark uselessly against his chest. Then Kratos moves. The Leviathan axe leaves his hand. In the games, this weapon returns to Kratos instantly across any distance, passing through stone, metal, and flesh without slowing. It cleaves through a Humvee's engine block, freezing the vehicle solid with its frost giant enchantment, then returns to his grip. Before the Rangers can reposition, Kratos is among them. This is a man who fought through entire armies of undead warriors, mythological beasts, and divine soldiers. A single battalion of mortals isn't a battle, it's a warm-up. 7 a.m. Apache helicopters arrive from a nearby NATO base, each carrying 16 Hellfire missiles and a 30mm M230 chain gun that fires 625 rounds per minute. The pilot acquires Kratos through thermal imaging and opens fire. Kratos throws the Leviathan axe. In the games, he's thrown this weapon hard enough to stagger Baldur, a god who couldn't feel pain and shrugged off having his neck snapped. The axe tears through the first Apache's rotor assembly like paper. The helicopter spirals down, exploding against a mountainside. He recalls the axe and throws again, and again. Each helicopter falls in sequence, pilots never even seeing what hit them. The Leviathan axe was forged by the same dwarves who made Thor's hammer Mjolnir. It was designed to kill gods. Military aircraft don't stand a chance. 8 a.m. The Pentagon's crisis room lights up. Satellite footage shows a single man dismantling an entire forward operating base with an axe and his bare hands. The Joint Chiefs authorize armor support. M1 Abrams tanks roll into the valley, their 120mm smoothbore cannons tracking Kratos. These 70-ton behemoths fire sabot rounds, tungsten darts moving at Mach 5 with 12 megajoules of kinetic energy. During Desert Storm, these rounds punched through Iraqi tanks from 2 miles away. The first tank fires. Kratos sidesteps at the last millisecond. He's fought Hermes, the fastest being in Greek mythology, and kept pace. The tungsten dart buries itself in a cliff face behind him. Before the crew can reload, Kratos is already on top of the tank. In God of War 3, Kratos stopped Kronos' finger from crushing him, a finger that weighed thousands of tons moving with divine force. He pries open the Abrams hatch like it's made of cardboard. The crew barely has time to react before he's moved to the next tank. Tank after tank falls. He flips one onto its side with raw strength. He freezes another solid with the Leviathan axe, the crew trapped inside a block of enchanted ice. For a man who's toppled giants, these vehicles are toys. 10 a.m. F-22 Raptors scramble from Lakenheath Air Base in England. These fifth-generation stealth fighters carry AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles with 40-pound warheads, capable of Mach 4 speeds and 40 G turns. 8 jets circle the combat zone at 40,000 feet. The pilots engage from beyond visual range, launching everything they have. 16 missiles converge on Kratos from different angles. Kratos switches weapons. The Blades of Chaos. Cursed weapons fused to his arms by Ares himself, extended on their chains. These blades have killed Furies, Titans, and Olympians. They burn with the fires of the underworld, flames that consumed the souls of the damned. He whips the chains in an arc, moving faster than human eyes can track. Missiles detonate against the blades' supernatural fire, their explosions swallowed by hell flame. The few that get through splash harmlessly against his skin. In God of War, Kratos walked through the flames of the Phoenix and the fires of Hephaestus' forge. Missile explosions are barely lukewarm. The F-22s bank for another pass. Kratos hurls the Leviathan axe skyward with enough force to reach 40,000 feet. The axe tears through the lead Raptor's wing, and the jet spirals toward the Earth. The remaining pilots break off, realizing their weapons are useless. 12 p.m. The president convenes an emergency meeting. Every conventional option has failed against a single target. Someone suggests the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, 30,000 pounds of bunker-busting explosive designed to tunnel through 200 feet of reinforced concrete. A B-2 Spirit bomber drops the MOP from 45,000 feet. The bomb accelerates past the speed of sound, impacting with 11 tons of TNT equivalent. The explosion is visible from space, turning a square mile of Norwegian forest into a smoking crater. When the smoke clears, Kratos stands at the epicenter. His armor is scorched, but his skin is unmarked. In the games, he survived the full power of Zeus's lightning, bolts that could crack mountains. He tanked the explosion of the Blade of Olympus, a weapon that ended the great war between gods and titans. The MOP is impressive for mortal engineering. Against a god killer, it's a firecracker. 2 p.m. The military has one option left. The USS Wyoming, an Ohio-class submarine in the North Atlantic, receives authentication codes. In its tubes, Trident II missiles carrying W-88 thermonuclear warheads with a combined yield of over 80 megatons. But here's the problem. Kratos has access to abilities that transcend physical force. The amulet of Ouroboros can manipulate time itself. The boots of Hermes grant him supernatural speed. And in God of War 3, he literally climbed out of the underworld twice through sheer rage and willpower. Even death couldn't stop him. The president stares at the nuclear option. Using it would eradicate half of Scandinavia, kill millions of civilians across Norway, Sweden, and Finland, and potentially trigger World War III. And there's no guarantee it would even work. Kratos survived the destruction of Olympus, an event that caused floods, plagues, and darkness across the entire ancient world. The order never comes. 3 p.m. Kratos retrieves Atreus from where he'd hidden him at the start of the attack. The two disappear into the wilderness, leaving behind the burning wreckage of $1 billion in military hardware. The U.S. has no way to track them. Kratos lived undetected for years in the Norse realms. If he doesn't want to be found, he won't be. Final assessment. The U.S. military versus Kratos is a war they cannot win. Unlike some overpowered characters, Kratos doesn't have infinite strength, but he has more than enough. He's killed beings who created earthquakes, controlled the seas, and wielded the power of the sun. Every Olympian fell before him. Every Norse god who stood against him died. The combined firepower of the U.S. military is formidable against mortal enemies. Against the Ghost of Sparta, it's target practice. The worst part? Kratos wasn't even trying. He wasn't in Spartan rage. He didn't tap into his full divine power. He just wanted to protect his son and be left alone. The military poked a bear that kills gods for fun. Earth's best defense against Kratos isn't weapons, it's leaving him alone. That's all I had. If you want to see what happens when Goku fights the entire US military, click the video on screen now. Thanks for watching.